no one dares to die. The old man had been dead for 2 days, but his body kept turning its head to the door, like it was waiting for someone to come take him. When someone dies in Oori, their body doesn't rot. It just sits there, breathing softly. It started with a curse. Long ago, a traveler begged for food at the edge of Oori. The villagers ignored him. He died at their gate, bones showing through his skin. With his last breath, he whispered, "If you fear death so much, let it never leave you. Let death stay among you. Let no soul rest." Since then, the village of Oori has changed. People still died, but their bodies didn't leave. Mama Neka died in her sleep. They buried her. That night, her voice called from outside her daughter's window, laughing and saying, "You forgot my slippers." Fear gripped her daughter. She sat on the mat in fear, trembling as she couldn't wait for the day to break. In the morning, her mother's grave was found empty. Another old man collapsed during a storm and died. Out of fear, they locked his corpse inside his hut. 2 days later, he was sitting up, eyes open, staring at the wall. Still dead, but breathing. A hunter, Chike, saw his dead brother walk past his window, half skull, humming a lullaby. He ran to the next village. They found him the next day, folded into a tree trunk like wet cloth, his bones gone. No one could leave the village. The villagers begged the sick not to die. Not out of love, but out of fear. Because in Oori, death doesn't take you away. It keeps you. The dead stay. Some whisper. Some smile. Some knock at your door at night. They say death lives in Oori now. It walks the paths. It watches. It waits. But it never leaves. And if you die there, you never really die. The villagers stopped holding funerals. What was the point? They just sit the body in a chair, close the door, and pray it stayed quiet. Sometimes it didn't. Sometimes, the dead would turn their heads when someone walked by. Or blink. Or grin. The children were told never to look into the eyes of the dead. If they see you, the elders warned, they might follow you. One night, a baby died. Just stopped breathing. No sickness. No sound. The mother refused to let go. She rocked the baby for hours, begging it to cry again. At dawn, the baby did cry. But it wasn't a baby's voice. It was deep, broken, like someone trying to remember how to speak. The thing in her arms looked the same, but its eyes were old. Too old. She walked into the forest with it and never came back. The elders built a shrine after that. They lit fires, made sacrifices, called priests from far away. One priest tried to bless the village. He screamed in the middle of his prayer, clawed at his own throat, and spat out black feathers before dropping dead. The feathers didn't blow away. They sank into the ground like worms. Now, the villagers don't pray. They don't cry. They don't speak of death. Not out loud. Because death hears. And worse, it listens. They say if you whisper "I'm tired" in Oori, something will stand behind you by nightfall. If you say "I want to go," the ground under your feet softens like it's ready to swallow you whole. The only safe words left are "I'm fine." Even if your eyes are bleeding. Even if your heart has stopped. You say, "I'm fine." Because if you don't, you'll stay. And death will make sure you never leave. Just when the people of Oori thought the curse would never lift, a girl was born. Her name was Akana. She did not cry at birth. She just stared, wide-eyed and silent, as if she remembered everything. The midwife died that night. Her body turned to ash the moment she touched Akana's skin. Everyone said the child was cursed. The elders said, "No, not cursed, she's the one who commands the curse." By the age of 10, Akana could walk through the village and the dead would turn their heads away from her. The whispers would stop. The air would hold its breath. Even death itself seemed to pause when she passed. She spoke little. But one day, when the people begged for her help, she agreed. "I can break the curse," she said in a flat voice. But nothing goes for nothing. The villagers offered her goats, gold, lands, and blood. She shook her head. Then she whispered her price. "I want everything. The village. The people. Your worship. Your obedience. I want to be your God." The elders argued. 4 days, they debated under the moonlight. But the dead were growing louder. They scratched at doors. They walked at noon. They whispered people's names. They had no choice. They agreed. Akana stood at the center of Oori, barefoot, arms raised, eyes black like a night with no stars. She whispered something no one understood. The air turned red. The earth rumbled. The smell of rot vanished. The dead were gone. For the first time in 100 years, someone died and stayed dead. The people wept in joy. They called her Ezenwani, Queen of Spirits. They built her a shrine. They bowed. They gave her their loyalty. But Akana did not forget the deal. She ruled. And her rule was worse than the curse. She demanded daily worship. If someone forgot, their shadow would melt from their feet and never return. She controlled the rains. Crops only grow if she smiles. If she frowned, the soil turned to dust. Children born under her reign were strange, quiet, pale, and old-eyed. Some never blinked. Some spoke in languages no one taught them. Every year, she chose one person to vanish. No one knew where they went. Only that their homes turned cold, their names wiped from every mouth. Some began to whisper, "We traded death for a god who is worse." But it was too late. You can't beg death to leave, and then complain when something else takes its place. Oori is no longer cursed. But it is ruled by a girl who commands the spirit of death. And the worst part, she's still growing. And she's still watching. And one day, she might not stop at Oori. Beyond what the people of Oori greatly feared has come upon them. The dreadful has just begun.
If you love interesting African stories, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story when it drops. We've got something exciting every time. You definitely don't want to miss out.